So I was just reading James jbfoyle's comments under the my response to the Modern Mystics video about anosognosia, which is a brain disorder where basically um, the person doesn't know that they're disabled. They don't know that they had an accident and that they lost whatever brain function, whether it's the ability to speak or walk or hear. They just don't know that they don't have that ability anymore, and they behave around others as though they did, as though they were normal. Um, so it's a kind of amnesia in a sense, but it's a sensory amnesia more than a cognitive amnesia, if that makes sense. And James was talking about how we can do scans of the brain. We can use EEG machines. We can use fMRIs. We can use these open brain surgeries to manipulate varying locations on the brain with electrodes to stimulate whatever memories and tastes and all kinds of feelings and stuff. And so basically what that means is that we can measure monks and accomplished students of meditation, and we can verify that there are certain patterns of activity. I think it's the frontal cortex, or maybe an area in one of the temporal lobes. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look into the specific research, but they have these specific brain areas that light up only when these people who've been meditating for 15 and 20 years get into that state of intense concentration, and you can't fake it. So a person can't pretend to meditate. So whatever meditation is, I mean, it's really difficult to teach meditation because it's one of the things that a person has to do from the inside out. And lots of times when you're teaching someone, you're trying to give them stuff from the outside, and it doesn't work until you assimilate it as your own in a way, and you gain an understanding yourself. And everybody's understanding of meditation is going to be unique. But the same brain states light up. So biologically, these states are definite states. Hold on a second. That was my mom. She works over at the hospital, and she's trying to help me get a job in the psych department, doing something probably outpatient, where they deal with like drug addicts and stuff. So yeah, I gotta call the one of the managers at that department in a little bit here. But anyways, hopefully I'll be able to once I get into the hospital setting, I'll get to see who does these brain imaging, who runs the fMRI machines basically. And if I get to know them, then hopefully I can try this stuff out because it's amazing technology. So yeah, basically what I was explaining is that we can measure and verify certain spiritual states, mystical states, meditative states, higher stages of consciousness, so states of consciousness. And I mean, the difference between a state of consciousness would be you have this experience that lasts maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes while you're meditating, and then when you stop meditating, the experience, the state, fades away, and you return to a normal stage of consciousness where you sort of level out for the majority of your day as a person. But then, of course, there's four general states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and bliss. So where I'm trying to go with that is, Ken Wilber talks a lot about there being these stages of development in consciousness, and in the specific streams, I guess he calls them, of, there's cognitive, emotional, moral, aesthetic, etc. These different streams of development through stages. Emotional development seems to go through certain stages. Moral development seems to go through certain stages. But to say consciousness in general goes through stages, it's very vague. You have to talk about some specific. You can talk about the history of human consciousness, like Gebser does, and go through magic, mythic, mental, and integral, and make some sense. But so we just have to be specific when we're talking about stages of consciousness. It seems like meditation. I'm going to read from this article from the Technology Review, a magazine. Richard Davidson, a neuroscientist at the University of Wisconsin, detailed some pilot research described in Daniel Goleman's 2003 book, Destructive Emotions. Davidson has used fMRI and electroencephalography to image the brains of 6 monks, including conference panelist Matthew Ricard, during and outside of meditation. When Davidson asked the monks to induce a state of compassion in themselves, they showed a much greater shift toward left frontal brain activity than subjects untrained in meditation. Interesting.